viewers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. How you are doing? In today's tutorial, we'll be looking at how to make a free dress with a zipper at the front. Yeah, I'll be illustrating on how to make this dress with the sleeve. You can see. So this is what we'll be working on. Okay, and it has a pocket. Let's go ahead now to the cutting of this dress. So I'll be cutting that dress with this fabric, which is 2 years. First of all, I'll be cutting the back part before cutting the front part, or you can just fold and cut together, but I would like to cut it separately because I'm having exactly 2 years. In cutting the back part will not be having any joining because we have a zipper at the front. I'll just fold my fabric into two using my hip measurement plus 3 inches extra. So that's what I'm folding right now. That's the biggest part of your bodies plus 3 inches extra. Okay. Okay. I think I'm still having white fabric. Okay, the hip I'm working with is 37. Divide by 4 will give me 9.25. So I'll still reduce my fabric again. Okay. I think this is fine. Okay. So first of all, take my gown length, which is 40 inches, plus 2 inches extra for seam allowances for folding of the gown and joining of the shoulder. So I'm marking total 42 inches. Okay, so this is my dress length. From this line I created here, I will take my shoulder measurements, which is 14 inches, divided by 2 will give me 7 inches. So from that point now, I'll come down for my shoulder slope, which is constant 1 inch. Then I'll mark 3 inches here along the neckline. So I'll just connect from this point to meet with the 1 inch I came down with. So I'll use my ruler to connect the line. Okay. Okay, from this point now where I came down with, I'll come down with my round armhole measurement. Because my round armhole measurement is 14 inches. But because this is going to be a sleeveless dress, I'll be using 15 inches. So I'll have that freeness and the armhole. So I'll be coming down by 7.5. So I'll just draw that line as well. 7.5. And just check like this to be sure of what you're marking. 7.5. Just connect it. Okay, so I'll just go in here by 1 inch. Then I will check for the midpoint of my armhole. Just place your tape like so. So the midpoint is 3.75. So just mark from that 3.75, you connect to the 1 inch and you create your curve like that. Okay, I have my armhole curve, but I just feel like I should illustrate on how to create it. Okay, from my shoulder line now, from my shoulder line here, I'll just place my tape and get my breast point, which is 10 inches. My half length, 14 inches, that's from your shoulder to your waist. So I'll roll the lines out. Then from my waistline, I'll come down by 9 inches for my hip line. I'll also roll that line out as well. Okay. So I'll just impute my measurements on the lines. On my breast point line, I'll take my bust measurements, which is 34 inches, divide by 4 will give me 8.5. So I'll add 1 inch for sewing allowance. and 1 inch for ease since it's a free dress. So I'm adding total of 2 inches. I'll be sewing with just 1 inch. On my waistline, I'll also input my waist measurement. If you are sewing with 2 inches, I will advise you add 1 inch extra for ease. So the waist I'm working with is 30 inches. Divide by 4 will give me 7.75. 7.75. At the waist region, I won't be using just total of 2 inches but 2.5 inches. That's because of the tummy. If you are working with someone that have tummy, you advise you add extra allowance on the waist area and to enable your pockets to sit properly. So I'm using 2.5. I'll be sewing with 1 inch and use 1.5 inches for ease. So my hip line, I'll impute my hip measurements. 37 inches divided by 4 will give me 9.25. 9.25. I'll add 2 inches here so as well. 1 inch for ease and 1 inch for my sewing allowance. So at the dress length, I will take the total measurements I'm having on my hip area, which is 11.5. I'll add 1 inch extra to this measurement to enable my client to walk freely. So that's why I'm adding 1 inch extra. You can go ahead and add 1.5 or 2 inches, depending on how free you want, how wide you want the down part to be. So just go ahead and mark that now. So 11.5 plus 1 inch will give me 12.5. So I'll come here and mark my 12.5. So I'll go ahead now and connect all these lines together. I'll start from my armhole area to my bust, then to the waist, then from the waist to the hip, then to the total dress length. Okay, I'll cut this off before cutting the neckline. Okay, so this is the back part of my dress. So I'll just fold and place to cut the front part. Okay, for the front part, you can see I left some space here. This is 2 inches for my zipper allowance. Sorry, 1.5 inches for my zipper allowance. So I'll just make sure my fabric is rightly placed. So I'll just cut it out of that like this and open up the zipper allowance and notch my zipper allowance as well. So just go ahead and cut it off. Okay, I'll also open up my zipper allowance now. I'll notch. Okay, so what I'll be doing now, I will be cutting the neckline. For the back neckline, I'll be using 1.5 inches. Then I'll maintain the width of 3 inches. So I'll just connect. While for the front length line, I'll be coming down by 4 inches. 4 inches by 3 inches. Still 3 inches. So we'll just connect to meet with the 3 inches. Okay. You can use your ruler to get your round neck. This is a round neck. Just place your ruler and you connect. Okay. So I'll just cut the back neckline before cutting the front neckline. So I'll just take away the, I'll ensure to trace it out now. So I'll just cut the front. Okay. So just mark my 2 inches for my 1.5 inches for my zipper allowance, and I will notch that part. For my front armhole, I will check for the midpoint, which is 3.75. That part now come in by half inch. Then I'll connect to meet with this line, just like so. Because the front armhole is always deeper than the back. It's not same. So I'll trim this off. Okay, this is the front and the back. Okay, look at the armhole, well dipped. So for my pockets now, I will, from my waistline here, the line I created for my waist, I'll come down by 1 inch. Then I'll mark 7 inches. So I'll just notch this mark I just made. Just come down by 1 inch for your waistline, then you mark 7 inches downward for your pocket opening. So I'll notch this part now for both the front and the back. Okay. So we'll go ahead now. I'll cut my lining for this, and I'll be lining this appropriately. I'll be lining the armhole because it's going to be a sleeveless, so we'll be lining the armhole area and the lower part. I'll also line. I'll use line to turn it. That's just it. So for the falling sleeve, I'll be using the rest of my fabric to illustrate on that. This is what I'm having. So if you are on the big size, I'll advise you use more fabric, maybe 2.5 or 3 years, because this is what is left, and I'm working for a slimmer size. So I'll fold this into 4. Okay, just fold into 4. Just fold again. Okay, after folding into 4 like this, I'll be drafting out that now. Okay, so I'll be using total length of 18 inches. Divide by 2 will be 9 inches. So we'll be turning this. So I'll add 1 inch extra to it. Just 1 inch extra for fold. So at this point, that's where I have my opening. I'll mark 2 inches. 2 inches. Then at the folded area, I'll mark 4.5 inches. Or you can just as well mark 4.5 inches on both sides. Create a straight line before getting your curve. I think that will be easier. 4.5 by 4.5. Okay. So I'll just get 4.5 inches. Okay. I just marked 2 inches at the center. So this is the 2 inches. So I'll just connect from this point here to meet with the 2 inches in a curvy way. Now connect from this point as well to meet there. Okay, so this is what I'm having. I'll cut this out now. And I'll trim off my excess. Okay, so this is what I have. Okay, I'm having 2 pieces of this, so I'll just fold my fabric, the rest of the fabric I have, to cut the remaining 2. So this is it. It's on fold, so I'll just place one of it and cut. Okay, I'll fold this into four and I'll place on it and cut it out. This will serve for my lining. You have to use same fabric to line it. Okay. So if you want to cut it once, you have to fold into 8 places to cut 4 pieces. So I'm now having this now in 4 places. One, two, three, four. I'll be using this medium sized gum stick to gum on one side of the piece. That's my hand, my sleeve. Just one of it. Then I'll be using the other one to turn it over. Okay, guys, I've ironed it properly and I reduced here because I realized it was too wide. So I just used 1.5 inches. By the time I shaping the both side, I was having 1 inch. So this is 1 inch wide. So I'll just bend it using ½ inch inward, like so, on the both side. Then for the bodies of my dress, I've lined it properly. You can see how neat it's looking. For the both side, there's no rough edges. Okay, if you're wondering where I used to turn this out, what I did was that I brought it out with from the shoulder area. Then after bringing it out, I opened up like 2 inches from one part of the shoulder and I flipped it over and turned my shoulder area like this. Then I top stitch here. So that's all. This is very simple. And this is the zip I'll be using. Is 40 inches long. So just using the desirable length, then I'll cut off the excesses I'm having. Next thing I'm going to do now is to shaping the dress using 1 inch. Like I said earlier on while cutting the clothes, then I will create my space for my pocket and attach my pocket to it, and also fix the zipper at the center front. After shaping it before you attach your sleeve, and in attaching the sleeve, you measure from your shoulder to your nipple. Then, like what I did after shaping it, I marked 5 inches away from the armhole. Then I fix it here on my breastpoint line. I fix it on my breastpoint line. Then at the back part, I also marked 5 inch from the armhole, below the armhole, to the back area where I also top stitch on it, just like this. You top stitch on it. So it's very simple now. Just shaping the dress, attach the zipper, and show you guys the outcome. Okay, this is the final outcome of my dress. This is the sleeve. Like I said, we measured to the breast point, then I marked 5 inches from the armhole area, from this point to the armhole, 5 inches. This is the back. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Bye, guys.